Hello, friends and neighbors, virtual and non virtual. I want to thank you for being here. And what I'm doing is I'm coming to you with my very first Vitamin Joy Tarot reading. Now, if you're not familiar, I recently released a tarot deck, and I call it the Vitamin Joy Tarot deck. Because, a couple of reasons, we need to consume vitamin joy. The world is going to hand us pain and trauma and turmoil and chaos and all sorts of awful things. To compensate for that, we must get joy, like a vitamin. And if we don't get enough joy in this world, well, we are going to grow up to be jaded and bitter and judgy and bitchy, and that's no way to spend our one precious life. Something that people don't often know about tarot is that it started in the 1400s as a game. So joy is in its roots. So I hope that every time I sit down and mess around with tarot, I remember the roots of joy that it comes with, because I believe tarot is an extension of nature in the way that nature pushes us towards balance, just towards balance. So when I find balance, it's a very joyful thing. What I want to do is I want to kind of build off of what I used to call the tarot snapshot. And I can still use that reading format here, where I pull a card that represents us, I pull a card that vexes and perplexes, and I pull a card that heals and reveals. But I want to shift it around a little bit. I want to take a look at where we're at. I want to kind of take a look at, what is our poison right now? And then what's our joy? What's our pain? What's our pleasure? So let me shuffle this deck 3 times. And I'm going to show off 3 of the tarot cards that I have developed. And before I do that, I want to talk about the t-shirt that I'm wearing. I know that, there's some symbols here, and let me cut the deck before I get into it. So it says the Fellowship, and it says Virtual Challenge. This says the Conqueror Challenge, Lord of the Rings. I set a goal in the beginning of June, or at the end of May, to walk 90 miles in the month of June. That is on an average of 3 miles a day. I'm up to 82 miles, and I have 3 days left of the month. So I think I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to hit the 90 mark. When I was at mile 43, my friend Maria told me about the Conqueror Challenge. Have you ever heard about the Conqueror Challenge? And I'm like, no, what's that? And she showed me this program where, you hook up some apps on your phone and you have them tracking your mileage. And when you hit certain points, they'll send you medals and commemoration. So I got a free t-shirt when I signed up for it. And I'm walking through the Shire right now, the Lord of the Rings. It's cool, it's fun. And then when I do like 145 miles, I get a medal. It's a great way to find some joy, because that's what nature and walking gives me every day if I can do it. And, like kind of getting a medal is joyful. I'm like kind of a competitive person. So I just wanted to kind of talk about the t-shirt I'm wearing. Now, let's take a look at where we're at right now. All right. So here we have the 8 of Pentacles. That's funny that I would have brought this up. So the 8 of Pentacles is a card of craftsmanship and work, but my relationship with that card is the greatest project we'll ever work on is ourself. If I want my family to be healthy, I need to be healthy. If I want to be sound of mind, I need to, get the therapy. I need to go work out. I need to not play into the assumption that health and well-being are just going to fall into my lap. Like joy. I have to go get it. I have to be healthy. I have to move my body in ways that bring me joy. I do. And that's not just physical. It's mental, it's emotional, and it's spiritual. We have to combat that idea that working on ourselves is selfish, that giving ourselves time away from our burdens is selfish. There is this, in America especially, there's this idea of the rugged individual. Boy, oh boy, John Wayne, if you can tough it out, you don't need help. You're almost like proving your worth to the universe or God or what have you. And frankly, here's a little French for you. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. We do need help. We do need to sustain ourselves. We do need to work on ourselves. We need to get the medicine. We need to eat healthy. We need to do what we can to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others and have what is our birthright, which is the best life possible. Let's take a look at what vexes and perplexes us, what our poison is right now. We have the 7 of Pentacles. Ooh, that's funny. Okay. So the 7 of Pentacles is patience. You know, patience. I'm not sure if you caught my blog a couple weeks ago where I talked about being diagnosed with disordered eating. Thought intermittent fasting and fasting was the way to go until I woke up in the middle of the night and I was eating in my kitchen, and my body was like, fuck you, you're starving me, I'm gonna eat. So I've gone around and around with my therapist and my dietitian to understand my body and understand that there's a lot of things that we're exposed to that are not healthy. For instance, there's a really good book out there called The Wellness Trap. I would suggest you look into it because there's a lot of bullshit we're exposed to. Paleo, Atkins, fasting, intermittent fasting, low fat, low calorie, low carb. It's hard to distill what's actually working. And for me, and I know all body types are different, for me, that wasn't the way to go. Now, the Seven of Pentacles is a card of patience and cultivation. We oftentimes want things right now. How many of us have joined the gym, not seen results in 2 weeks, and just quit or stopped going? When it takes legitimately 12 weeks of going to the gym on a regular basis before you start to see results. You have to be patient. And that's what I think a lot of us with this culture of instant gratification, we have issues with that. Let's take a look at the joy, the card that heals and reveals for us. The Star. Okay. This is a card of hope and healing. This is a card of hope and healing. We have to hope and we have to heal. But right now, I'm working through what is the technical term for it is called reverse dieting. I'm eating as much as I can every 3 to 4 hours. Not from a gluttonous place, but from a place of like making sure I don't go hungry. I'm healing my body. I'm healing my metabolism. I've done a lot of damage to it, thinking that the articles and, the things that I saw along the way were the way to go. And the Star is a card of hope. It comes after the Tower card. And in tarot, the Tower is the destruction of that which shouldn't have been built in the first place. So for me, picking up these diets and these wellness, methods and all of that, that stuff shouldn't have been built in the first place. And I'm repairing it, and I need to have a place of hope and healing around it. Now for you, it could be completely different. It could be, relationship stuff. What were you taught by your parents about what a healthy relationship was? And were you messed up by that? Are you working through a divorce, or are you working through the end of a bad relationship? And if you are, you have to have hope and you have to heal, but you have to have patience. You have to have patience. But patience, and this is what the Pentacles have taught me, doesn't mean complacence. It means patience. So if we were to grow, say, like a kernel of corn and try to grow a corn plant, you can't yell at it, you can't scream at it, you got to be patient with it. But you also have to weed the ground around it, you have to water it, you have to till it, you have to, fertilize it if it's necessary. So patience doesn't mean being complacent. It just means being patient and knowing that there are forces of nature that are going to work at their own pace. That's especially true of healing. That phrase, time heals all wounds. So find joy and hope, find joy in healing, and find joy in patience, and stick with it. There was a president, Calvin Coolidge from Vermont, and I think that he said something to the effect of, genius is, a dime a dozen, but what gets people places is persistence. That's where you'll really see results, persistence. So be persistent and take care of yourself. Work on yourself, because it is indeed the greatest project you'll ever work on. All my love to you out there in this strange world. Consider signing up for the Conqueror Challenge. It's a beautiful year. I'm having some beautiful weather right now. Get out there, get some fresh air, get some nature, commit to those challenges, and find some joy in it. To learn more about me, to find me, my readings, my podcasts, all of that good stuff, find me online at joshsimons.com.